We won't teach you anymore. Employment Ice Age generation. Our company is a prime, well-known firm, but some women in a certain cohort of generalist roles make only slightly more than new hires. There's no culture of bullying newcomers, yet support is kept to the bare minimum, and people avoid interacting outside work duties. Seniors just deal with the juniors in a dry, detached way. In that environment, some young generalists developed mental health issues and stopped coming to the office. People pretended to be concerned, but many are indifferent. Some are even quietly pleased. Hello everyone, today I'm sharing first-hand reviews under the theme We Won't Teach You Anymore from the Employment Ice Age generation. Review 2. If you want to raise starting salaries aggressively, then companies should also be able to let go of new grads more easily. That will increase profit sharing for strong performers and help retain top talent. The biggest misconception about today's labor shortage is there are few people who can handle the work. The real priority is not letting current employees leave. That's the most important management issue. But companies are off target. A company where mid-career staff can't thrive will naturally decline. Lacking people who can coach properly stalls an organization. The ones you should be coaching are the employees you already have. Okay, review 3. Even the employment Ice Age generation had to work hard, but the outcomes were different. Even with the same effort as the other generations. Unfortunately, that's just how it was. Maybe you won't get it, but I warmly think those who kept saying, just work hard, had it easy finding jobs. Among recent grads, the gap between excellent and struggling ones is huge. I also know well that truly hardworking kids sometimes don't get rewarded. People who only talk can't understand others' pain or feelings. Even if you get a temporary high salary, it won't necessarily lead to a future. For such cases, I advise switching jobs early. That's natural. People make decisions emotionally. Review 4. Raising starting salaries may be unavoidable, but the jealousy behind that stance can't be hidden. Lifetime employment has already collapsed in Japan, so hire based on skill regardless of age. We also need systems where those who can't perform don't just clinch on. Don't create unfair gaps in treatment just because of regular versus temp status. Japan is stuck in a halfway, first come first served system, while seniority culture lingers. With that, the gap with the other generations won't cross for us. No matter how hard we try, the only thing we can do is avoid investing our affection in raising the next generation. Review 5. If the government had expanded public sector hiring significantly for the employment Ice Age generation, it could have absorbed unemployment and slowed declines in domestic demand and population. Instead, they slashed even education sector hiring, unrelated to the economy, and now we have a teacher shortage. Recently, they created the employment Ice Age hiring in government jobs, but only hired a handful like a single drop on a hot stone. Meanwhile, the recent jump in starting salaries is abnormal. Aren't people around 30 already being out-earned? Review 6. Reskilling is being pushed, but I don't think companies will hand out managerial titles to those with no track record. In the end, many will remain non-regular or retire at the current levels. Or what become new grads in their 60s as truck drivers? Review 7. After graduation, no company would have hired long-term non-regular workers as full-timers. Lately, I hear more about conversion from part-time to full-time. Honestly, that shocked me. For the employment stage generation, aiming for full-time from part-time was extremely difficult. Even those who did land full-time jobs back then still feel their gap with the adjacent generations. Today's new grads or young mid-career hires have good packages, and even without concrete complaints, they switch jobs quickly because they can. It's like a real-time speed run of resignations. How many times did I change jobs to get similar treatment? Review 8. Female 40s, housing sales. I enjoyed the mid-career from another field a few years back. Our company brings in many new grads every year, yet 80% don't sell even one unit after years. Eventually, despite being sales, they relax into thinking that doing miscellaneous tasks is their job. There's no urgency about not selling. After a long dry spell, they say there's no training scheme or will to train and quit, bad mounting the company that fed them. But their base salary is higher than us mid-career hires. Review 9. I don't think it's bad for young people to live well. But is it okay for those with almost no hardship to start at 300k yen, 400k yen a month? Would they appreciate it? I worry they'll end up like people whose sense of money gets distorted by paid companionship. Develop inflated pride and take work lightly. That's tiring to watch. With heavy debt burdens after the pandemic, many firms may fail. What happens when young people who took things for granted are cut loose? Companies could go under from hiring costs alone. Review 10. At our company, the salary we used to reach after 5 or 8 years of promotions is now the new grad starting salary, plus under HR rules. Some will get titles in these 3 years. It's hell. People who've been working hard become subordinates of those newcomers. That sends motivation into a negative spiral. Whose fault is this? I know blame shifting is useless, but not everyone is a saint. Review 11. Now only money only, me only. If you don't value existing staff, even if newcomers burn out, you just lure more with high pay and burn them out again. People prioritize money. That's how it is. We've seen this movie before. It's exactly what was done to the employment stage generation. Like the saying that abused children may become abusive adults. It's that cycle. Who benefits? Improving treatment while sacrificing the employment stage generation won't raise motivation. Okay, level 12. Back then, things were brutal. Starting salaries averaged 140k yen, 180k yen. Even graduates from top schools like Todai or Waseda couldn't find jobs. Many were freelators or temps. Interviews assumed we won't hire you. So pressure interviews were the norm. Even if you got in, refusing unreasonable orders meant instant termination. The constant threat of being fired. Power harassment was everywhere. Changing jobs was near impossible. The government did nothing. Today's rising starting salaries aren't thanks to the smart policy. It's the result of declining birth rates. If anything, tax hikes are worse than them. So review 13. According to the MHLW Basic Survey on Wage Structure, over the 10 years up to 2023, the employment stage cohort saw little wage growth. At ages 45 to 49, when kids regularly enter college, income change is around zero or negative by their 50s. Median financial assets in the 40s are 470,000 yen in the 50s, 800,000 yen some single person. Winners in the cohort built assets, but the median is like this. Whatever happened to pre-COVID rescue plans for the Ice Age generation? With no real action, there were no results. Even now, support priority for us is at the bottom. Review 14. We had to cling to any job, even with the 160k yen starting salary. We were told, you are replaceable, overworked to tears, and still had to pay social insurance. In my first 10 years, I got a total raise of 30k yen. After 24 years, I finally reached about 300k yen a month. Then boom, new starting salaries at 300k yen, even 330k yen. My company's college grad starting pay was 240k yen. Technically, grads 260k yen. How can I stay calm? And now you tell us to treat newcomers with extra care? Be realistic. Review 15. Because we lack a future, please save the youth who still have one. That takes money and robust childcare support. We don't like hardship. We want things easy. We don't want responsibility. If things don't go our way, let other generations take the blame. We have potential and talent. The future is bright. Yet we've delivered no results so far. Just kept complaining. The harassment flowing from the top to bottom has simply flipped the direction. That's the story. Review 16. As mid-career staff from the implementized stage, we entered on low starting salaries. Then came headcount cuts by policy. HR system changed, promotion criteria tightened, and salary formulas kept raises from happening. One fit after another. Unless you are a manager, your base pay basically hasn't gone up. Maybe it's my industry, but companies cut seasoned mid-career people while paying high for newcomers, and those newcomers quit quickly. What should companies do? It's always a new grad supremacy. Review 17. I'm 48 and salaryman fighting every day against their company, up and down. I used to only deal with the pressure from above, but now pressure comes from below too. If I push back, it's called the harassment. No, that's not it. The harassment comes upward now. We endure so much from above when we were young. Now that we are middle managers, why are we getting harassed from below? Middle managers, watching both sides, have it the toughest. Okay, review 18. Jobs were scarce for the implementized stage generation. Even when we got in, we were worked like draft horses. Still pay rose little by little with the age, and we finally reached management. What awaited us was young employees who don't work too much, take time off freely, and quit soon, leaving us to pick up their slack. I never imagined that would be a constant. Starting salaries keep rising, newcomers earn nearly what hard-won managers make. That short end of the stick gets handed to the employment ice age generation. Problem solved, Japan? Okay, review 19. If a new hire is truly capable, they are worth high pay. But if a low-performing newcomer joins, efficiency and productivity drop. While payroll costs rise, the worst outcome. If their treatment surpasses the Ice Age generations, that generation will give up and leave. In our company, even a 48-year-old HR section chief left. Everyone thought, you are the quiet team? I'm a bit younger than that cohort. What if the implement Ice Age generation disappeared? The company wouldn't run. Plant managers, sales directors, corporate planning heads, so many are truly capable. Review 20. Final. With AI and other disruptions, no one knows how things will turn out. Young new grads won't necessarily have a lifelong advantage, yet diving responsibilities and treatment by birth year fractures relationships. If mid-career staff leave in the droves, or suck and stop coaching, and then newcomers quit, and then mid-career people quit as well. Nobody wins. Let's end the new grad supremacy. The system is worn out. Balance matters. Policies that sacrifice someone are outdated. Okay, that's the set of first-hand reviews on the theme. we won't teach you anymore from the implement ICH generation. What did you think? Please share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe. Bye.